Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. This gonna be a little quick little gossip chat about a few things going on. I just finished doing Love After Lockup, so if you have not watched that review already, after we get off of this live, go ahead on round now and watch my Love After Lockup. We see he got that car when she kicked him out review. Okay, it was a good episode and a good review if you ask me. So that is already up on my channel. Do not forget tomorrow on Sunday, I will have a live little chit chat after the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14 premiere. So tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna pop up. I want to do a live chit chat about the episode, not a full review of it, but we're gonna talk about what happened or whatever. So that's tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's gonna be fun because again, I really do think this season is gonna be different and fun. So I want to chit chat with y'all about that. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. And y'all know back to here. Okay, this is a quick chit chat of it all. I am going to watch Put a Ring on It and Ready to Love. And I might possibly be live tonight at like 10 p.m. because there is no Love and Marriage Huntsville episode. No, there's no new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville coming on tonight. So I may come on live at around 10. But again, I have to watch Put a Ring on It and watch Ready to Love, the reunion part 1. And then I'm going to try to do a review of that too, because I have things going on tomorrow and I don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. So we shall see how that goes and whatnot. Okay. But do not forget to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dot. Okay. Do not forget to like the video. If you are already in here, already like it. Okay. Like it. And stuff. You can also comment in the comment section because, as I tell y'all, the point of these lives is to have a conversation between me and between y'all. Okay, so talk to me about whatever it is I'm talking about. Okay, you can also share the video by hitting the little share button because again, share me with those who you love or those who you don't like. I don't know, but share me anyway. You can follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner around here on IG and Twitter. I am the most active on IG, and you should be following me. Okay. Now look, I'm here in my Saturday outfit. Look, this is my review for the weekend outfit. Okay. Look. Okay, I had time to get put together and all that stuff. I'm here just to talk to y'all a little bit, and let that be. Okay. Anyway, back to here. Okay, back to here. So, boom. Wait. No. I want to leave my cell phone screen, honey, and add the video. Girl, it's the wrong thing? Not it's the right thing. Okay. So, hey y'all. Okay, I hope everybody having a great Saturday. Okay, I hope y'all chilling and relaxing and relaxing. Okay. But hello to those who are here right now. Hello to all my live watchers and to those who will be watching the replay as they get to it today. Because I don't have anything planned. Like you will see a scheduled live like five or minutes less time before I'm gonna go live. So I'm trying to get this stuff kicked out as I can, because I also still have to watch 2 episodes of Marriage Boot Camp and bring y'all a review for that. Okay, but again, we are here. I just finished watching the Love of the Lockup video. Happy Saturday. Hello. Okay, hello. Because thing to do. Hey everyone. Hey. I'll be trying to get a haze in to folks who around here. Because that's the joy of being in the live. It's the acknowledgement, it's the conversation or whatever. So, and this probably will not be long at all because not much is really going on in the news. And that's why I can get this done quicker than it will take me to watch those 2 shows, get graphics together, and then come back to y'all. So again, we're gonna see how this goes and whatnot. Firstly, let's put up some prayers, okay, to Miss Juicy, baby. Okay, y'all know Miss Juicy, who used to be on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. She is also a cast member on the Little Women Atlanta cast and everything. She is being said that she is currently in the ICU. They say she's in stable condition, but the initial story that came out, I think it was on the Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood Unlocked, one of them people, were saying they think that she actually had some kind of stroke or some kind of heart attack, and then they put her in a coma. But her family said, yes, she is in the hospital. Yes, she is in ICU. However, she is in stable condition. But we do not know what exactly the ailment is. Again, the first note, the first mention of it was they said it was either a stroke or heart attack, but we don't know what it is. But again, we shall see. Okay. But again, prayers and strength and good vibes, good feelings all the way to Miss Juicy, baby. Round here. I just want to bring it up because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I would listen to her on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. I also will watch Little Women Atlanta. So again, prayers for Miss Juicy. We hope she gets better really, really soon. Okay, let's move on to something else. ASAP Rocky around here. Okay, ASAP Rocky, who we know is got Rihanna knocked up. It was rumored that he was cheating on Rihanna. That was debunked. Then it was rumors that he was sending flirty texts to everybody else. I don't believe that. He was then, kind of arrested a little bit for allegedly shooting someone back in November. Well, then we seen the police seize some guns at his house. A whole bunch of guns was seized at that man's house, and they were looking for the gun that was possibly used in the shooting in November. Now, we do know, allegedly, it was someone within his own camp who snitched on him that someone was also the person who he shot. I don't know which ASAP person was. Is it because it's ASAP A, ASAP B, and ASAP C? I'm called ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky is ASAP A because I know of him. Okay. Now ASAP A, ASAP Rocky, was snitched on, okay, by ASAP B. Okay. And ASAP C is the one who told everybody that ASAP B is the one who snitched on ASAP ASAP Rocky. It's too many ASAPs. I don't know what to do. Okay. I'm like, what is going on? It's the bull of the shit. Either way go, you can't be running shooting people. Okay, you cannot be doing that. However, we did find out that all the guns that was seized or that was sold, that was, in this house that they looked at was not the gun used in the shooting based on, the caliber of the gun and the cases and all that stuff. So they like, whatever guns he had in his house isn't the one he used to allegedly shoot ASAP B. Again, I think it's like ASAP. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong ASAP. Okay. I was like, oh Lord Jesus. Now they say the guns in his home that they found were all legally owned. So at least he now here with no illegal guns. Okay. Because had they said, oh, all these guns ain't supposed to be here, all these guns are not supposed to be here, all these guns are illegal. Okay. They've been used in this and that and that and this. He going to jail. Nope. They could not arrest him for those guns because they were his legally. And I don't have any issue with folks who have guns in their home that they own legally. It's your prerogative anyway. Now, the police are also saying that there's allegedly footage of the shooting. So the footage they have, they're going over the footage between the police, between the DA, was the DA, the prosecution girl, whoever, the lawyer folks, okay, is going over all of the evidence to see, did he do it? Did ASAP A shoot ASAP B? Okay, is that what happened? I'm like, first of all, why y'all all name ASAP? I don't, it's just weird to me. Just weird to me. So again, now he's happily able to finish being with his pregnant girlfriend Rihanna over there in Barbados as they await the birth of their first child. It do seem like who he pissed off, okay? What happened with him? What happened that he's now being consistently looked into for shootings and cheating allegations on all these things and all? And this is the thing. We hadn't heard shit about that man before it was announced that he and Rihanna were expecting a child together. Since that news came out, I'm like, it's like every month it's a new story about that man. Okay. So, I mean, one, I'm happy. No, they didn't find no gun in his house that can link him to this shooting. Okay, that's part one. But I also feel like you shouldn't, if you shoot somebody and it's on some bullshit, you know it wasn't on the up and up or whatever. I hope you would get rid of it because it's not supposed to be there. Okay, and you don't want to be around here with no illegal gun that's used in a shooting in your house. Okay, don't do that. And look, like now when the baby shot old boy who was on his property, he legally did not have to have that gun because the shooting was, in defense of don't be on my property. Okay, but if you secretly shot someone in November that nobody knew about, Okay, and ASAP C said ASAP B snitched on ASAP A. That means it was on some fugaziness or whatever. So this story will continue to play out. I was like, ooh, it's too much. Okay. I feel bad for Rihanna. She can't even enjoy her pregnancy, so much BS going on in the rooms. This is the thing. Rihanna's had a chill pregnancy. She just told us she was pregnant 2 days ago. What's sad is that the end of her pregnancy is now being, riddled with all these rumors about ASAP. I'm not saying he innocent, not saying that at all. I do know people have always had issues with her being with him based on comments he said back in the day. Not even back in the day. Comments he said a few years ago. Because I did not see the comments he said, but I've heard of the comments he said. Something about, Black Lives Matter things. He also he also literally said something about darker skinned women should not wear like red lipstick, these things. I do feel like some people don't like him, and it's a small possibility that they're trying to ruin their relationship or whatever. But again, if he shot old boy, that's on him. But I'm happy, and that's also why some people keep their pregnancy a secret long enough to be able to enjoy it on their own without having all these things happening. Because again, as soon as she announced she was pregnant, that's because the shooting happened in November. You know what I'm saying? So, she's at least had a relatively low-key pregnancy. I'll say that. Okay, hello. Thank you so much. Thank God they were legal, all this foolishness when your baby is on the way. Because you don't want to be arrested the day that your baby being born. You do not want to be a deadbeat father from day one. Okay, meaning you weren't even there at the birth. I only know of ASAP Rocky and ASAP Ferg. I don't know the rest of them. Yeah, and the other two ASAPs wasn't a Ferg or Rocky. It was ASAP somebody else and somebody else. So ASAP B and ASAP C. BS, she chose a jailbird, and this is what you get. Okay, I'm leaving that be, and that's your opinion. Anyway, let's move on. Now, again, it's not gonna be on here long or whatever. Let's move on to the Blac Chyna and this trial, honey. It's foolishness. Okay, so this is really about Blac Chyna and Kim Kardashian, and I just wanted to show some of because when I'm speaking about Blac Chyna and Kim, Kim Kardashian, I'm like, let me pull up some photos of when they were friends, because I think some folks forget there was a time where they were hanging out and they were friends. Okay, and so there was some bullshit. Anyway, so we all know that Blac Chyna is suing the Kardashians. She's suing Kim, Khloe, Kylie Jenner, and then Kris Jenner, for liable defamation and all these things based on saying I did my job. Based on saying that they use their influence over at E to get a show canceled. Okay. Now, every other day, most stuff coming out. Okay. Now we do know Chyna had asked to be if she can redo her testimony. Okay, because she felt like her seeing her nude photos again altered her testimony because she was all emotional. Okay, the judge said, "Nah, you said what you said. We're gonna leave it at that." Okay, now that was that. Now we do know that Kim spoke on stand. Kim, Kylie, Kris, Corey Gamble did. Rob did as well. Chyna has to. So again, they all have said their piece and what they think will happen or whatever. Now, the Kardashian lawyer had put forth a little request to have Kim removed as a plaintiff in the case. Okay, mainly because they were like, Chyna hasn't really said anything that she did specifically. And the judge agrees. The judge agreed to drop Kim from the lawsuit so she can no longer be suing Kim. Kim won't owe any money. Okay. Now, Khloe, Kylie, and Kris are still fully being sued. The jury still has to come to some kind of decision based on the accusations of them, but it's not Kim. And the judge brought up how that Chyna never identified anything specific that Kim has said or done. So there was no reason to have her listed in the lawsuit. That there was no direct proof that Kim said anything to anyone that would make her liable for defamation against Chyna. Because we did hear more of what Kris Jenner said. We was hearing things that Kylie said and also Khloe. We have always heard the most BS from them, truth be told. Okay. And I think Kim was wrapped up in it probably because Kim was, Courtney be on the side and leaving things be some the same. Okay. She don't be too involved. Kim is usually involved, even if she ain't saying much. She's sitting there and she looking around. Okay, sitting there and looking around. And I was like, girl, get out of my face. Okay. So Kim is basically off the hook. So Kim kind of won her battle in court against Chyna because she don't owe no money. Now, I do feel like the others, that might help Chyna's case. If you take off the one person who ain't say shit, leave the ones who did, it may be easier for a jury to say, okay, they did say these things. They admitted things they've said. So, it was some defamation because the case is about defamation and about them getting her show canceled. It's not really about if Chyna's a good person. It's not even really about if Chyna was over beating Rob's ass. It's just different. Let's see if my news came out. Okay, but I took them, then I wouldn't be that upset. But I think her thing was these are things that Rob took and that Rob posted, so that may be why she was a bit upset and whatnot. Okay, it's crazy. I really can't wait to see the outcome. Just because I feel like the same way with Cardi and Tasha K, it's going to kind of be a big deal if she wins, because it's a thing of people will have to watch what they say because they can affect somebody and how they make money. Okay, so I want to see it. Now, side note, y'all. Is anybody watching? I'm not watching. I feel like not that many people are watching the Kardashians on Hulu, but when they showed a little clip of Kim crying because Kanye West had got back the video from Ray J about the sex, I didn't care that much. I also felt like, Kim, he did it for our kids. I don't want your kids will eventually at least hear about you fucking right there on camera. I hope they don't ever see it. Okay, I hope they don't see it. However, I feel like I get she wants to protect her children. I fully get that. I also feel like she has a right to not want them to be exposed to anything more than what's already out. Because as a mom, you do not want your children to look at you in a way that's like, damn, mama, you was doing that. Well, why would you do that, mama? And it's something old for one too. But it's like it's really already out there. And I think that's the hard thing, because once stuff is in the public eye, once stuff is online, it's really hard to get any of that stuff removed. It's really hard to like wipe the internet of it because it was so public. It was so it's just in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? It's in the atmosphere. And it's going to take an act of God for her kids to never be made aware of that. But again, I hope they never see it. I hope they never see it. They're going to know mama. And I think Kim should also, look, mama made a mistake, a couple years ago. Mama was doing some things or whatever. And just because that way, if you prepare them to know it's something out there about mama and about daddy. Because daddy was around here, you know what I'm saying? Doing stuff, whatever. But again, if anyone ever say, hey, look at this, just know it could be mama and some man, and something could be in mama's mouth. Okay? Be warned. Because it can go either way, to where they'll know about it and not care. Okay, mama told us. However, it also can be like, oh, mama didn't tell us that. Oh, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. But I'm gonna leave that be. I want to see some comments. You have it wrong. Kim was still part of the case, so I don't know. I don't have it wrong. Kim was cleared in the defamation case. I don't know how I had that wrong. What part of she is not in the defamation case is wrong? Let me know, because I'm I'm not confused about that part. So I don't know, Anyway, because again, there are different parts of the case. But as I said, the defamation part, she's not a part of that case anymore. Okay, so I be wanting to know. Anyway, they know that they got the show taken off, even though it was trash. Run trying to her money, please. The show is so lame now, but I still be watching because ain't nothing good on. I wanted to tune in one day, but I was like, I don't want to be hypocrites because I don't follow them on social media. I don't deal with them at all. A part of me only wants to watch it to talk shit. But I have Hulu. I have regular cable. I have all the apps around here. I think the only app I don't think I have is like a regular one is like Apple TV. I don't have the Apple TV app, and I don't know why. Because I be seeing things on there that's good, but I be so busy, my regular job plus YouTube. I'm like, I don't have time to add a whole other app to possibly watch shows I ain't already watching. But does Blac Chyna eat grits with sugar? But I don't know. I hope that Chyna wins against the Kardashians and don't the media see that the Kardashians have a hotline to TMZ. They're telling the only ones reporting daily they would do anything for the storyline. I fully believe everybody is aware of how much control and how much influence the Kardashians have and how many connections they have just in entertainment. They were on E for 20 seasons, how many seasons it was. So I'm like, to think that they did not have a good relationship. They were one of the longest running top shows on that network, and it wasn't as if E did not still want to have them there. E just could not afford to keep them there. Okay, please believe if the Kardashians would have accepted whatever the amount that E was gonna pay, they would still be. Rob was a crybaby, like everyone was telling him she was going to hurt him eventually, but he didn't listen, so I don't feel bad. Okay. There's still clips of it out, but not the whole video. And this is the thing. I've seen a lot of things around in my years of life. I saw the video. It wasn't this long, amazing video. I'm pretty sure the couple clips that's out there is all that was entertaining. The truth be told, she didn't do much. It was a fact of who she was, of who he was. The great part about it was, seeing, the tool that Ray J had. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I never felt like, it was this amazing video where she performed her best. It was like, no. Even what Paris Hilton did was like, oh, that's y'all. They just be taking it. You know what I'm saying? They just be taking it. And that's really it. But again, no one wants their children to see even that. So, it's better to prepare your kids to know what's out there than to try to shield them from it when someone is going to show them it. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want the kids are of a certain age and they may be searching through, you know what I'm saying, the sites to see things, to do whatever, how they may happen to see Kim K and Ray. Kim K? Auntie Kim? Mama, why Auntie Kim on here? And no one's explained these things to them as they, like, I hope Mason, who is the oldest, I think is Mason and North are probably the oldest grandkids within, their sector. I hope someone has advised them on it because they are at an age where they could see it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't care how much you want to monitor your kids. The social media and the internet is a crazy beast. So, get it together. I watched Robin Chyna, and I remember promo for the second season. They should just cut her a check and go about it. Even though it was a few years ago, that was back, I think, 2016. it fully was approved for a second season. They were talking about the second season. They were talking about when it was going to start filming. So, like, it was for sure a second season. But again, because the Kardashian bunch has so many connections at E, of course, they can find folks who say, "Oh no, we never approved second season. Y'all had the promo for it." Okay, we've seen the videos of people talking about it back then. Girl, they ain't fooling me. She ain't got to win, and if she do, she might disappear. Unfortunately, who knows? This is Hollywood. I'm not, I don't want to put that in the air. I don't think this situation is so crazy that where she may disappear. I don't. I feel like the Kardashians should have been gave her a check. To this, my thing is, y'all are so rich, y'all could have paid her 5 or 10 mil and been done with it, and not had any bad press from it. Okay, and it's been done. And I get sometimes you want to stand up for yourself. I get that fully, but it's like y'all help get that girl show canceled, and y'all know it. They just don't want to admit that they did it. And it's like just like with the Tasha K in the Tasha K case. Sometimes fighting something costs you more money at the end of the day. Okay, but I'm going to let that be. I rather watch my family fans spin around to watch the Kardashian show. That is funny. Her mom said the tape. Her mom said that tape, and they made $90K a month from it. That was made for See You Moment. I like watching. It's so entertaining to watch white people. I cannot. I cannot. Okay, sometimes I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. Same. I did originally see the full one, but the clip that are now are the best parts. Look, that's all it was. That's all it was. Okay. Yeah, and you want to look. So listen. When you are saying, I just want to protect my kids. Kanye got the tape because he knows about our kids. I'm like, I get that. I 100% get that. But you have kids who are old enough to find what's out there online. And, they're going to see it. And that's the sad part. And we do things. And that's why I say I am extremely happy that, this day of social media and this day of camera phones, when I was, y'all look beat, teenage to 25-ish year old Jaylee, I'm very happy that life of mine was off the grid. Okay. I'm very happy that it wasn't a photos of everything. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because you just do not know, like the cussing and the fussing. I used to be drinking. I would drink a lot back then or whatever. Just partying. It wasn't crazy, but you just do, because when you older with kids, you know what I'm saying, like, who wants to explain that to the kids? Oh, because now it's on film. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my nephew. Who he just turned 16, he's gonna get a car. I gotta sit and like, DJ, don't you be out here, borrowing cars like I used to do, because I would take my sister's car by my car. Don't you be out here borrowing your mama's car without her permission. Don't do what I did, okay? But luckily, ain't no evidence of what I did when I was younger. So it's like, it is what it is. I bit my jaw and it's making me aggravated. There's an interview of the man who said the tape, or who sold the tape for them, and he said the other footage was deleted back when they edited. So he said Kim lying for the Hulu show. Ray J said she lying. Okay, Ray J was around here saying they lying on me. Okay, I came to be lying as first of a. You know what I'm saying? He said it was on BS. What he said, because we only seen like a little comment he made, I think, on Hollywood Unlocked, where it says Ray J speaks after footage is released of Kanye West delivering the alleged sex tape on keyboard of the Kardashians. All of this is a lie. Shaking my head. I can't let them do this anymore. So untrue. I'm waiting for Ray J to do the whole little conversation between him and Kanye. Like, what is Kanye gonna say when Ray J said, "You lied on me, bro. That you was lying on me. I can't believe you lied on me." So I feel like, had there really been any other footage, it would have already come out. That's just me. Those kids are gonna hear from their friends, right? Because kids can't hold water. they can't hold water. Okay, girl, if social media was as big as it is now when I was younger, honey, trouble. Okay, because you just do not look when you because it was just different. It's just different back there. I'm so glad that my late teens and all of my 20s was not on the internet because I'd probably be in the world in a world of trouble. Because even though we had Black Planet, we had MySpace, it still wasn't as easy to even post what you had. Like we didn't really have camera phones at that time or whatever. So once Twitter came around and then Instagram or whatever, and then every phone, like the standard of the phone was a great camera. The cameras before used to be grained. Like even now, if you have old photos posted, when like on that they come back around, this should be grainy as hell because the camera quality now is amazingly good. So, if you was recording some dick in the hotel room with Ray J, it's gonna be clear as day. So it's like I'm just happy that I made it through that time. Okay, but we're gonna see what happened with them. Let's move on to Joe Budden, Tahiry, Evelyn Lozada, Chat Otocinco. So, well, first of all, I need y'all to like the video. Because y'all know liking is the thing to do, and it gives me time to take a breather, get some water, okay? Let's see, not gonna lie. Well, since I'm not gonna lie, I used to use Black Panther as a day. Well, a lot of us did. A lot of us did, okay? Because that's what it is. It was that was big back then, at least especially for Black folk. Evelyn, Chad Otocinco, Tahiry, and Joe Budden. So I'm going to share my screen because I did not feel like um pulling up all these videos and all this stuff. We share when we say stuff on our IG, we can just show it from there. Joe Budden's podcast, he was speaking, and I don't know why. I do not know why. He was discussing what he said was like not victim blaming, but like bullying of someone who did something to you. And when I first saw the clip of what he was saying, I feel like I wasn't fully listening because at first, when I heard him say, I commented and I said, "Oh well, he's not saying anything negative about Chad or about Evelyn." So like, it's nothing wrong with what you said. And when somebody commented and said, "What the fuck you talking about?" I was like, "The fuck you mean?" You know what I'm saying? So I had to go back and like fully pay attention to the clip, but I'm like, oh, I didn't hear it right the first time. So I deleted my comment because I didn't really hear the full statement of what he said. But I also just want to say the clip that is going, and I'm not trying to defend Joe Budden, but I do know the clip that is being shown was cut and pasted together. I have not heard the full conversation, and I am a person who feels like I need to hear a full conversation before I can make a real informed judgment on what is being said. However, I want to discuss what was said so far. So, share your screen. Okay. I want to show y'all what he initially said. That's Evelyn talking. And other stuff. Where is it at? That ain't the right one. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure I play. I had to say it a few times just to be sure. Where is it, girl? Maybe it's this one. Okay. So I'm going to mute me so y'all can hear this.
Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco's ex-wife. Mm-hmm. He's in a whole new relationship. He's married. Mm-hmm. He's whatever he is, he's happy. Mm-hmm. They happy, she's happy. For years, anytime his name came up, she popped up. It had nothing to do with her, but she popped up and said, hey, he did this. It didn't matter the rehabilitation he'd done. It didn't matter the changes that he's made, the apologies, both public and private. Yo, dog, for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, every time I do something positive, you're going to pop up with this victim story. And you are the victim. So I don't take that away. But that's bullying. Example of what I'm saying. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco's ex-wife. Mm-hmm. He's in a whole new relationship. He's married. Mm-hmm. He's whatever he is, he's happy. Mm-hmm. They happy, she's happy. For years, anytime his name came up, she popped up. It had nothing to do with her, but she popped up and said, hey, he did this. It didn't matter the rehabilitation he'd done. It didn't matter the changes that he's made, the apologies, both public and private. Yo, dog, for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, every time I do something positive, you're going to pop up with this victim story. And you are the victim. So I don't take that away. But that's bullying.
Girl, I'm muted. This is why we don't like muting on here, okay? But again, I wanted to have that play twice so y'all can fully hear what he said, both times. I'm not on mute anymore. Y'all should be able to hear me now, correct? I just want to be sure. I took the mute off. I have the mute so it's not an echo. But what I'm saying now is I'm waiting for someone to say yes, you can hear me. Because as far as I know, y'all should be able to hear me now. Okay, so I didn't hear the full clip the first time he said what he said. I didn't hear the bullying part. Which I'm like, Nick, what? So what I heard him first say was, hey, every time Chad does anything, he's moved on, he's got confidence, he's got married, whatever. He's done all these things. And when he does anything, Evelyn pops up and will say, hey, this is what he did to me now, but y'all are praising him. I heard that part. And when I heard him what I thought he was trying to say was, because my comment on social media was, that's true. People who have done bad things, but has since either moved on, gotten therapy, gotten better, grown, or whatever, people will always bring up what they've done in the past, even if they have bettered themselves for it. But my comment was based on strictly him saying that years after this happened with Chad and Evelyn, that anytime anything comes up positive currently with Chad, someone or Evelyn or someone will bring up what he did to Evelyn when they were married. He headbutted her. Now, hearing the full clip of what he said and saying how that's a form of bullying, based on the victim continuing to remind people what their abuser did to them, is a form of bullying. That's a slippery fucking slope. That is ice on top of ice. That is so slippery. Like, one, Joe, just shut up. Joe, you are the last one to be speaking on that. And I do feel like he has that opinion based on his history of abuse to women in his life. And he feel like whenever he has something positive going on, someone from his past pops up and reminds people what he did to her or to them. And that's the part that aggravates me. You can't even unbiasedly, and I can't think if that's the word or not, you can't even unbiasedly comment and say these things. Had someone who never had a history of doing the same thing that Chad did to Evelyn had these same thoughts, I do think the conversation could be more constructive. It could be a longer dialogue to see how do we dissect that statement that can a person who did something wrong maybe 5, 6, 7, whatever years ago, if they have really done the work, never done it again, in a better place now, can we say, hey, let's stop bringing up what they did then? Because in my opinion, that means the victim can fully move on and not be reminded of their abuse, and the abuser does not have to be reminded of who they used to be. However, Joe, you're the wrong person to have this conversation. Okay, let's see, that's not bullying. A lot of people haven't better. A lot of people haven't bettered themselves, though. People assume they have because they love these celebs. Chris Brown is an example, and that's my thing. No one is saying, at least I'm not. I can only speak for me. I am not saying that everyone who says I'm better now is. Some folks will say that and won't be at all. But I also feel like there is a space in this world where we can say honestly, some people did things, learned from them, grew from the experience, and didn't do it again. Because if we don't feel that way, then that means that nobody feels that everybody is above rehabilitation. I think people do have to learn that their bad behavior isn't acceptable. And some people can do that. Not everyone. Not everyone. Okay. I don't know Chad. I don't know Chad. I don't know him at all. But I don't see an issue with a statement of someone who did something years ago and is now in a better place. But every time they are brought up, the person who they hurt years ago will keep re-bringing up that hurts, may feel like they're being bullied. I can understand that point. I just can't get it from Joe Budden's place because of who he is and what he's done. And again, he's projecting. I think somebody I said it, but again, he's projecting. What he goes through, because every time he speaks, and I wish he would have stopped speaking about this, because the reason to hear, because it's Tahiry, the reason Tahiry consistently brings up what you did to her is because you speak from a place as if you better, and I don't think you are. I really don't. And that's the crazy part. Joe tends to put his foot in his mouth every now and again. So far, he's been doing it way too much. That's why you don't do horrible things to people. True. But we also, and by horrible things, I mean, if you stole something, if you lied, I mean, whatever. I'm not trying to leave this conversation in specific terms of Joe Budden put his hands on Tahiry, or Ocho putting his forehead on Evelyn. My point is, when people do bad things is a broad spectrum. When people do bad things, we can't make it seem as if we as human beings are perfect. We make mistakes, good, bad, and indifferent. And we should hope that people learn from their mistakes, whether your mistake was a lying person, a cheating person, an abusive person, or whatever. Bad behavior needs to be corrected. And I'm a firm believer in people should be allowed to attempt to be better people. People should be allowed to learn from their mistakes. Not everyone does. And no, people should not do bad things to other people. But if you do something wrong and you realize it's wrong, fix that shit, correct it, course correct yourself, and then get back in line with what is a better way to be. Joe has always been a Mitch to me, and continues to talk out the side of his neck. I agree. He's too old to making these dumb comments. This is the thing. I don't think it's a dumb comment. I think it's a great conversation starter to a conversation where people will have different opinions. And as long as people get, there's nothing wrong with people having different opinions. Everyone just has to realize it's not about convincing somebody else that you're right. And Joe sometimes also speaks from a place of, I think I should be right. So let me keep explaining myself to force others to get my point. And that ain't what it should be, at the all. It's not the victim's fault. You decided to change your life after you whipped my ass. True, it's not. It isn't. And I don't think that's, let that be. That's the equivalent of saying stop bringing up old-ish. Eventually, it's like how to explain this. I used to be in an abusive relationship back when I was younger, in my teens, in my early 20s. And I would never want to bring up what that person did to me on any consistent basis, because why do and I'm speaking on my behalf. For me, each person who was a domestic violence survivor has their own story to tell and has the way they want to live their life. I would never want to be consistently taken back to that place because I moved on from that place. You know what I'm saying? And me moving on from that place does not mean what that person did to me was okay. What it means is I had went through what I had to go through, gotten better, and I've moved past it. There, nothing about reminding anybody what so and so did to me is going to stop it from happening to me if that's not something that they are consistently doing now. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I would not keep having that conversation because for me, I wanted to move on from it. But every victim is different. That does not mean that Evelyn or even Tahiry has no right to want to keep bringing it up. I think the issue with both Evelyn and Tahiry are separate based on how people feel about them. And I think this kind of sums it up. I would hate to constantly be judged for my worst moment 5 years ago. I'm not the same person. And this pertains to people who have gotten better. I get that some folks may feel like he ain't shit. He still ain't shit. That's fine. But we can't forget that some people do grow from shit. They do get better. They do learn to be better people. And that's why I said this topic that he brought up is a great conversation amongst different people to voice how they feel, because no one is going to feel the same way. My thing is, it coming from him is what's crazy. Okay. I feel you, Jaylee. We are human. I admire people who do the work, and we have to do the work. Joe, this is the wrong person, to be trying to lecture anybody. Okay. Now let's move past Joe. Let's move on to the response. And there's a couple different posts. I mean, be popping, around and around because again, it's different posts. So that was one. Evelyn was then on social media, of course, posting, my life matters. So I spoke up. She's a domestic violence survivor. I'm going to keep screaming to the heavens, no matter what another abuser has to say about my past abusive relationship. And again, she was just posting, she was reposting other people's comments, and everything. So that's what it is. That's what it is. The issue I have, she reposted her photos of the headbutt, okay, and said let's not forget Joe Budden should Tahiry post hers. So this is the issue I have with that, and because she posted the photos, I'm gonna leave them up. You as a survivor should not say to another abuser, hey, what does your other victim feel? My thing with that is, Evelyn, how do you know Tahiry wanted to be brought into this? I mean, I think we know why, because she always does. You know what I'm saying? It's always a thing. That's what it is. So that's what Evelyn was posting. Now, Tahiry responded because she was tagged. Okay. Evelyn, I'm so sorry. Nobody should ever have to go through this. I'm shaking. He fractured my rib and punched me in the face. I don't have pictures, but I'm sure his other exes do. She then also put up, I blocked out this for such a long time. I have tricked my brain into ignoring all of it. I attend therapy on a regular basis now. It's hard to have to relive this every freaking time and the noise that comes with it. So this is my issue. Some victims do not want to be reminded of what they went through. And that's my point in saying everybody is different. Not every victim wants to scream from the high heavens, hey, look at what I went through. Because as Tahiry's saying, she's still in therapy about what he did to her. Now, I think the issue people had with Tahiry was how, and this is a conversation. I don't want it's victim blaming. You have to have a full conversation for full transparency. People's issue with Tahiry was after Joe allegedly did all these things to her that she's saying that he did, because I ain't saying that he did it, Tahiry did. People had issue with when they were on Love and Hip Hop together, how they were kind of still together. But we all know that victims at times stay with our abusers, and that's what it is. So I still think Tahiry doesn't always bring up what went on with her and Joe. However, when Joe gets on his high horse, she does like to remind him of what happened. I don't like Evelyn pulled Tahiry in because, again, as she said in her own mouth, I blocked out this stuff. I tricked my brain to ignore it. I'm saying I don't want to relive this every time. So that's why I say some people do not want to do that. At the all. So each person is different. Now, Joe went on and brought up how somebody said, I hate the way they chopped and screwed that video of Joe Budden, but that's what Blac do. He said that's Blac are political. That they have a job to do, so do I. I will say that I feel like it was a chopped and screwed video that we saw, but you still said what you said. Now I'm going to go back and listen to the whole thing because we might discuss this on the panel, and I want to have a full understanding of what he was saying. Now, Evelyn went on live. Okay, so I'm going to play the live. I'm going to mute myself now. I'm going to remind myself to unmute myself. This is what Evelyn had to say in response to Joe bringing up her and Chad's situation.
So I know I've posted a lot this morning because I woke up very upset. And, I just want to say that if you're going to use your platform to discuss domestic violence or bring up somebody's domestic violence incident, I think that you need to be compassionate about all of the people that this has affected. I think you also need to know and understand that this could be very triggering for not only the victim, but my message got cut off. So what I was saying is that talking about somebody's domestic violence incident can be very triggering for not only the victim, but everyone that was affecting everybody incident. So not only is it triggering for me, but I know it's very triggering. This is very triggering for all victims of domestic violence. And I just feel like if we're going to have these conversations, we need to have real conversations. Like, how do we heal from this? Why did we allow this person to treat me this way? How do we move forward? How do we, heal our communities? How do we come together? What do we do to teach our kids that domestic violence is wrong? Use your platform for good, not to make light of something that is very, very serious. Anyway, so I'm going to go back into my cocoon incident. I think I have been making it a point just to stay under the radar, stay focused on raising my kids, going to baseball, being a baseball mom, working out, eating healthy, pushing my line. So, I just had to say something because I'm not going to allow someone to control my story and my narrative, especially when it comes to something that really affected my life. So, y'all have a good day. Love you.
Certainly I'm in the minority here, but there is a such thing as victim bullying. Yeah, there is a such thing as victim bullying.
What you mean? Victim
Well,
bullying?
the victim is victim bullying. Yes. I believe that to be a thing when it happens.
Oh, yeah, that could happen.
Example of what I'm saying.
Certainly
I'm in the minority here, but there is a such thing as victim bullying.
So, see, I remember this time, y'all, because y'all can hear me now. It's like, let's now discuss Evelyn. Again, I wanted to discuss this in parts. We have the Joe part. I just discussed the Tahiry part. Now I want to get into the Evelyn part. Evelyn Lozada was absolutely a victim of abuse. We absolutely saw the scar on her head. We absolutely knew, everything that happened. Tahiry is also a victim of abuse too. They both are. With Evelyn, though, the issue people have had with Evelyn is after the whole Chad situation, she still defended, befriended, and as we even saw on a whole season of Basketball Wives, she was like bragging about how they still cool. And it's a weird thing that people feel it's weird that at sometimes you want sympathy for what Chad did to you. And at other times you want to prove to people how much Chad at one point still wanted you and how you could still get him. And people have issue with those two things running a parallel line. We saw how much she was an alcohol Chad just to prove, to prove OG, as a liar when OG brought up how, Ocho Cinco wanted me or whatever. So it's that hard thing in being like, you really want two different things. And not only that, we've seen you attack other females on the show that people had issue with. So I think the reason it's harder for people to be on Evelyn's side 100% is based on things that she has done, things that she has said, and things that she made other people feel. I don't think anyone, in my opinion, feels like Evelyn isn't a victim of DV. I think everyone is fully aware of what happened to her was horrible. I hope everyone feels that what happened to her, she did not deserve. I think everyone understands what Chad did to her at that point in time and over their lives was completely crazy. Hard stop, period. You know what I'm saying? However, the hard issue when it comes to Evelyn is how she picks and chooses how she wants to explain who Chad is to her or what Chad put her through. And I think some people are because when I was in the comment section, I seen just different viewpoints. So this is not based on anybody in particular. This is literally about what was on what conversations I've seen being had, like on Hollywood Unlocked and also the Jasmine brand. So people don't get is a fact that you can understand that Evelyn is 100% a victim of DV, and also at the same time feel like but she uses that to her advantage when she wants to, for sympathy, and then she uses it to her advantage for clout when she wants to. And I think that's the reason that people have issue. Even with Tahiry, even though we've seen Tahiry and Joe be cool, I still feel like Tahiry has never used Joe for clout in certain situations the way Evelyn has. And I think that may be the only reason why people go so hard at Evelyn, about this. And yeah, because I'm trying, I guess it's like comments. You can't really expect the world to continue punishing the man when you have forgiven him and became friends or whatever. And I think the hard thing about that is it was on TV, because after that happened and she came back to Basketball Wives, there was many conversations about that, and even I've seen somebody put in the comments, about how she is friends with his kids. I don't think anything is wrong with her, befriending his adult children. That's what it is. But for me, it wasn't even how she befriended his kids. For me, it was when you were bragging about how y'all still cool, and in your interview, I think was it on whatever interview, whatever she had an interview about it, and someone asked her if you had to pick and choose, who would you call to help you in whatever situation between Chad, any of your exes. It was any of your exes. She picked Chad after the DV situation, and those things make people question. So are we mad at Chad or no? You know what I'm saying? For me, the person who I was in a relationship with who was abusive, I have long forgiven him. I do not care who still is. I don't go there, because that happened back when we both were different people. That's why I can speak on growth. You know what I'm saying? But not everyone experiences that same growth. Not everyone can fully move on from that. But I don't use that situation in a way to continually go at that person. And in conclusion, when Joe said, with Chad, for example, an example of the bullying of somebody, of an abuser, is that when the abuse happened a long time ago, y'all have since broken up. Y'all both have moved on. He has moved on with many different women. He's now with, old girl. They just had a baby, whatever. Evelyn moved on with Carl, had a baby. She's now single. Different things. They both have moved on with their lives. And his point was, but she will pop up here and there to bring up what he did. And I can agree in that small aspect that when Evelyn sees fit, she does pop on her DV hat and want the sympathy. But we've seen you on Basketball Wives. We've seen you on other interviews. And we've seen you, not fully want people to look at him as your former abuser. You've wanted people to look at him as your friend, who you've forgiven. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the hard part. So for me, I like having conversations that are multidimensional, that are, it's not a one, it's not a, you can't look at it as one thing. The only thing I can say is one thing is one part of it. The one part can be one thing. One thing is, it is completely wrong to put your hands on anyone. That's true. That's one part of the conversation. Another part of it is, in this situation, the person who was abused uses it how she sees fit. The person who was abused by Ocho then pulled in the person who Joe abused. So you then pulled her out of her chillness of her life she was living, and reminded her what she went through. And now she has to then, comment on this. And I've seen people say, Evelyn and or whoever be sitting around here in their own space and whatever, and people be adding them, pulling them into it, and then it makes them want to respond. You don't have to. If people add me about shit that I ain't block, you know what I'm saying? Evelyn picks and chooses when she wants to address this situation in her own manner. And that's a prerogative. But no one can be upset that people question a situation that isn't black and white based on not only the victim, but also the abuser. Because even Chad said how he was wrong. He knew this and he did that, or whatever. And only the woman he's with now can tell us if he's better. Because we ain't with that man. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough, y'all. It's really, and I want to look at it. Some comments. We're gonna move on to my last conversation of the night, because again we've been on for over an hour. I wouldn't, if you felt like you were in danger, you move on, try your best to heal. You know what I'm saying? I agree. And after she had a baby by somebody else, you can't ask the abuser, ask for sympathy and empathy, because they won't let you live down what you've done, let alone what you fully admit to doing. It's an L you can't erase. You have to live with it. I agree. You do have to live with it, but I'm gonna say I agree, because because I can't argue your point. I fully understand your point. I fully understand your comment. The women at home taking care of their kids, their home, even their abusers, their abusive spouse or boyfriend. Those women who need our voices, those are the ones that need us to back them, not those rich hoes. I'm just saying. Definitely have a problem with her trying to get sympathy and still be a bully. I feel like that's on Tahiry. If she wants to socialize with Joe, I think it's the way Evelyn puts it out for the clout. Tahiry did start talking about it. Yeah, she for years she never fully, discussed, anything that happened. It wasn't until like after, it was after a lot of stuff happened that she started being more open about exactly what Joe did to her. That's my thing with Joe. Joe, you're the wrong one to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Periods. Like, I don't feel bad for bullies that finally meet their match. Checkmate. Ooh, I'm not going. Okay. A lot of these situations are similar, but people are complex. They are. They really are. That ain't the only reason they're just pick me people. Her behavior diminishes the message, and that is 100% her fault. I'm going to scroll down because I went up and back down. Before I see it, I'm doing, I'm loving Miss Jaylee. I like, oh, thank you. I am very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It be conversations going on around here. Okay. But welcome here. We're here all the time. My channel was a very positive, fun, loving place to come around here. And every once in a while, we get these deep conversations that we like to have. But you know what I'm saying? I'll be trying my best to keep things light and lovely. But I'm gonna leave that be. Right, it's often part of both the victims and the abuser's lives. Some people do heal and move on. It's not fair to keep bringing it up. The picture that was posted was, I forgot. Girl, I forgot I was on there. Wait, honey, stop. This, okay. And I'm gonna bring, where is, boom, okay. Because I'm like, girl, what is you doing? I did not even remember that I still had it up. I was just talking. But yeah. And again, even with her posting that photo, it's her prerogative. It really is. It's her prerogative. But we'll have footage of her making it seem as if I'm saying her and Chad is cool, and she won't post that photo. But again, you post, and this is the thing. This is the thing. Her posting that photo, which proved Joe's point, that she'll pop up bringing up with Ocho, and I'm so sure Ocho is at home like, how the fuck did I get into this? What did I do? You know what you did. Okay. But again, Joe brought up two people who he could have spoke on him and Tahiry's situation. But Joe brought up Chad and Evelyn, which then prompted Evelyn to put on her DV hat, bring out her old photos, and make people re-mad at Chad, because that photo will make people upset. So Chad, in this aspect, hasn't done anything wrong currently. You know what I'm saying? Chad did not speak out and say, you know what I'm saying, she shouldn't be speaking on me. He ain't said shit. But please believe it's going to remind folks what he did, even though it seems both he and Evelyn have moved far beyond this, because as she said her own mouth, I'll be at home, man, my business, being a mom, you know, being a baseball mom, working on this and doing that. So you at home, living your own life, far removed from what you went through, but you made sure to not only bring it back up, but to repost what Chad did as if Chad was the one who spoke on you and him. Now, had Chad spoken what they went through, and had Chad said she should, now if he had said that, she would have had every right to say, don't you diminish what you did to me. But Chad didn't say that shit. Joe did. Hence, Joe's, and I hate the fact that she helped him prove his point. That now people gonna go at Chad for something he didn't currently do. I was like, girl, you know, bull of shit. Okay, but this is my last comment I'm gonna look at about this right here. I wouldn't want to keep reliving the incident and looking at the pictures. Different people heal differently, though. I just don't. It just doesn't seem like she's healing. I don't think she is. I don't. I think Evelyn has always lived. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I don't think she's healed. I'm gonna say Evelyn likes to grab attention off of whoever has now used her name to get attention. It could have been Joe speaking on her and chat. It could have been if Tammy spoke about, you know what I'm saying. Anybody who brings up her name, she says, I'm going to pop out and I'm going to comment about that. And she has every right to do it. Because when she do, I'm going to talk about it. But, you know, it's hard to be like, well, shit, the innocent person right today is Chad. Because Chad ain't did shit today. Okay? He did that them years ago, truth be like that I'm not taking away that. What I'm saying is in this current climate, in this conversation, Chad didn't say shit. And now what he did is being drugged back up, even though he's moved on, and so has Evelyn. Because she moved on to date other people, have a great son. And as she said, I'll be in my house, eating healthy, living life as a mom, you know, and I'm going to go back in my cocoon and be good. You did not have to come out your cocoon, but you did. That's fine. It's on you. You know what I'm saying? The villain right now is Joe, because Joe brought up something that caused a whole commotion. Okay, a whole commotion for no damn reason. Anyway, let's move on. Well, I want to bring up this little I want to touch on, okay, a little bit of a touch on Scrappy and Scrappy from, you know, Love and Hip Hop. We know that their daughter, E-Money, okay, you know, had a little party. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. We seen with it, no, not this one. E-Money had a party, okay, and at said party right here, we know Scrap was there. You know, we know that Erica was there, and they gifted her a new car for her birthday. I don't remember how old she turned. Maybe I don't know, 16, 18, whatever. They gifted her a car. We see footage from both Scrappy and also from Erica at the time of the party. Okay. Again, that was her party stuff or whatever. Okay. Anyway, they both got to the car. Erica just recently posted this on social media, and the caption read, okay, I am so appreciative of family who step in when things go undone by people who don't keep their word. It's been a continuous cycle, but I've always picked up where there was lack. Kept it moving because I moved on what's in the best interest of my children. Thank you to Imani's granddad, aunt, and grandmama for stepping in on today. Just know this village is and has always been appreciative. Now, I was like, what does this say? Because I couldn't see what it said, okay? So y'all know I took a little screenshot so I could see better. So it's a cashier's check to ATL Car Direct. So I'm guessing the car that they gifted her, you know, wasn't fully paid for, okay, in some kind of way. Even though, you know, Scrap was there and so was her. And it seemed as if it was a gift from them both. And so what it seemed like she's saying that on the 29th of April, which was just yesterday, that other folks had to help her get the money together to get the car for Imani, okay? And because remitter was E. Dixon LLC, okay? The date of the check was 4/29, and they gave us payment to ATL Car Direct. So I feel like, oh, y'all still beefing? Y'all still beefing? But we see, you know, this is off to her for her prom, okay? And we see, you know, both her mama and her daddy, you know, both was posting about her and what was going on. You know, this time my baby first prom went. I can't believe how much she's grown. Yep, I'm funding y'all time and I'm proud. I'm a proud parent, okay? But we seen, you know, Scrap was around there too. Okay, beyond proud of my queen, my young queen, Imani. First prom experience, and she's going up, Jack. Happy to be your dad in real time young. Life changing in the dress made by so and so and so and so, you know, you beautiful. So again, Scrap and Bam be always beefing. But I also feel like, honey, her post exactly meant, hey, her daddy, who was supposed to chip in, ain't chip in on this. Okay, somebody else, grandmama and, you know, granddaddy and, you know, and whoever else had to help me pay for a car, not her daddy. I was like, Scrappy, right, you money. I feel like that's why her name is pronounced. I think it's really pronounced E-Money. I don't think it's Imani. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't mean to be in their finances, but can they really afford that? Honey, I don't know. Maybe not. Love and Hip Hop is gonna got to be taping season 11 because the cast is sharing their productivity. I said the same thing when Mama D was, you know, fussing with Bambi on social media. I was like, okay, it must be coming back. I'm thinking this was in reference to the rental car for prom. Oh, but that's maybe. Either way it goes, somebody didn't pay for something. Everything ain't for social media. It's not. It should not be. It should not be. Scrap and Bam, they can't catch the break. They can't. It's like, girl, y'all is messing up things around here. Okay. But I want to move on to my last story, which is, of course, is the foolishness going on with Carlos, Sheree, Kandi, Phaedra. Okay. First, I want y'all, well, first, like the video, please and thank you. I be thirsty. Anyway, do not forget that I will be live tomorrow for the Housewives of Atlanta, a little after show chit chat. So right after the Atlanta Housewives go off, I will be live on my channel so we can discuss the first premiere episode of season 14. Be there or be square, okay? And whatnot. I feel like we're gonna have a lot to discuss. But back around here, okay? So Sheree did a conversational, you know, interview with Carlos King. And she said some different things or whatever. And I was like, what is going on? I love your downtown Detroit scenery. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love the fact that I did the whole, you know, Detroit themed, like the video thing. You know what I'm saying? So Sheree's conversation with Carlos King, she said a couple of things before she got to the Kandi and Phaedra situation. I had that audio, and we'll get that in 1 second. So Carlos brought up one. He says how Nene, Sheree, and Kim are the reasons that ATL Housewives was the #1 show on Bravo. I can agree in the earlier seasons that Nene, Kim, and Sheree were, you know, the reasons we watch Atlanta Housewives for sure. I do think after a couple seasons, it got less and less interesting. I know that we know that Kim left, I think in season 4 or 5. But they for sure was a reason that we watch Housewives. I don't think anyone wants to take that from them. However, I also feel like it was an ensemble cast. And the fact that, Kim left at, I think it must have been season 5. It was the 4 or 5. Nene left in season 9. Sheree's come and gone a few times. So, it was what it was. Sheree brings up how it's true, how they were authentic. Okay, we were authentic back then, and we lived our lives. Now we watch. She said, "I don't watch the show when I'm not on it. However, the fans tell me that the cast now be producing themselves and not living their real lives." I want to say this: people who go to certain housewives and say they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that, or whatever. You can't even really listen to that, because the only folks who gonna come to you and say what's not happening when you're not there are your fans. I feel like you have people who only like certain housewives, and you have people who just like the Housewives show. I like the Housewives show. I do have my faves, yes, I do, but I still will not watch the show because someone isn't on it. I want to see what happens every season. So it's weird to me that Sheree likes to make it seem as if when her, Kim, or Nene was not on the show, it was a fake show. Nene for sure was producing herself towards the end. So was Sheree. I feel like that's one reason why Sheree came and went, because it got to a point to where she wasn't doing much. It was kind of on BS or whatever. But I'm like, we're gonna leave that be. She brought up how she has always shared real things in her life, but the ladies on the show recently don't really do that. The reason Sheree, I think, shared so much then was because Sheree needed a check. So you had no choice. And it's like, it's more because you didn't have anything else going on. When Carlos brought up how most of the girls like to promote their businesses or throw parties, but they don't talk about what's going on, that's what they do. I said because some of them have other things going on besides drama. And so, not that I think what they were saying was false, but I do feel like it painted a false narrative of how the show is currently. I think all the women after like season 6 or 7 kind of dropped the ball. I feel like they all have had moments of not being authentically true. It just depends on one who producing the season or whatever, and then which housewife is going through what. I like how this season, we've heard from everybody that it's a completely different season that they think folks will like. I can agree. She brought up how, this season Marlo was being open about what's going on in her life, she said how people were petitioning for her to not get a peach. So Sheree was basically saying that some of the housewives, she did not say which ones, did not want her to get a peach in the past. So I'm like, probably Nene. I feel like the only person was probably Nene and maybe Kenya at that point in time. But I feel like Sheree is tossing bombs at Nene secretly. She brought up how currently in the show, a friend of hers had a hard time as a friend of, because a peach holder will block them from getting camera time or whatever. How, the peach holder could not defend herself. She felt like her friend was being hazed because the peach holder could, say whatever, do whatever. And because the person was a friend of, they don't get a confession scene. They don't get the camera time to defend themselves if the peach holder felt like, I'm just blocked from filming. And I completely can see that happening for sure. But it's like, that's what happens sometimes if you are a friend of. It's not really about you. But I'm like, girl, I don't know. I heard something went down with Carlos Faker in Canada, and I'm convinced. The way he gave this interview, once we hear the audio of him speaking about, Phaedra and Kandi, I'll get on that, for sure. Because it's kind of crazy. Because I was like, this seemed a little bit biased. There's something that definitely happened between the three of them that we don't know. It's the fact that every time Sheree comes back, she always gets a peach she ain't never been a friend of. And this is my thing. Sheree in the beginning was absolutely an amazing castmate. She was absolutely great. From the first time she wasn't on the show, and then she would come back. She didn't give much. The one season she came back, it was acting like her and Bob were dating. I'm like, not dating Bob. You girl. Sheree has not been authentically entertaining in a peach holder role since the first time she left. Sheree come back as a bone collector. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And that ain't no knock to who she was initially. She's definitely an all-star for sure. But she isn't somebody who I would feel like, oh, she's always giving. No, she came back acting like she was going to be dating Bob for a whole season. Girl, get out my damn face, okay? She also brings up how Barlow and some other girls were hitting low with the shade or whatever, and how there's a big blow up between Kandi and Marlo. We all seen that too. Says fine. Now let's get to the audio of her speaking about Kandi and Phaedra. Okay, so listen to the audio and then I'll come back.
This season is better, and that Portia and Cynthia weren't a part of this season, and that no shade to them. This is her words, not mine. She said no shade to them, that this season was much better than when they were on. Is that something you would agree with?
When I wasn't on the show, I did not watch it. So I will say that this season is really good, especially coming off of what the debacle of last year. The ratings were horrendous. Mm-hmm. But this, like I said earlier, this season is more like a sisterhood. Like we're actually getting together outside of the show. We talk on the phone, some of the girls. We text. We have group texts that we continue. You know, sometimes you have those group texts, but they stop as soon as the season ends. We're literally have a genuine like and trying to actually build something with some of these girls.
Season 9 was an epic season. But obviously, that was the last season Phaedra was on. Mm-hmm. And there's been tons of talks about whether or not she should come back. Do you think Phaedra should come back to the show?
Absolutely. I actually brought her name up as well when they reached out to me in the beginning.
And what they say? Let me guess.
I think they were interested, but you know.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, and it's funny, it just came to my head. Mm-hmm. Let's just say what it is, because she went on record saying this. Kandi said that she doesn't want Phaedra on the show while she's on, mm-hmm. because of what happened season 9. And that if Bravo wants Phaedra on, then that's fine. She'll bow out gracefully. You've been on the show with people you don't get along with, people where you guys both threw shade and all this other stuff. Now, granted, what Phaedra did allegedly is obviously worse than anything you guys have experienced. Right. But with that being said, do you think it's fair that one person may have that much control on someone coming back on the show?
No, I don't. And I actually invited Phaedra to the fashion show too. And one of the things she said, she's like, well, is Kandi going to be there? My thing is, like you said, I've been on this show many times, many years with people I did not get along with. I have been in situations that I was uncomfortable with. I have talked about heavy things that I have gone on in my life. We are here to do a reality show. And as much as I love Kandi, I feel like at the end of the day, they should, or she should understand that this is for the show. We can't be, oh, I don't want to talk about that. It's not cool. So we can't do it. It's for the betterment of the show. We all have been in uncomfortable and talked about shit that we don't want to talk about. I think that conversation needs to be had on the show.
So, Sheree on bullshit. Okay, Sheree is on complete bullshit. This is why I'm going to say that. One, Karla is saying how, should one housewife have that much control over the show? The fact that Nene couldn't control herself staying on the show, to me, Nene had the most control for a while. So I'm looking like Kandi don't have no control. Also, I feel like the reason they don't have her on there, Phaedra didn't say something shady. Phaedra spreaded a rumor that allegedly, Carlos had something to do with. Allegedly is what I've heard in these streets. Allegedly. Not saying none of that's true. Phaedra said something that was a criminal accusation. She did not say anything that was a little bit. No, she referenced Kandi and her husband out here trying to, drug folk and take their cooch from them. Okay, that's what Phaedra said. Phaedra said something that could have gotten Kandi in criminal trouble. It could have. It's to this day, people would still call her, you know what I'm saying, Bill Cosby, basically. Okay, so the reason Phaedra isn't back, in my opinion, is because of what she did. It's not because of Kandi, because Kandi has said season after season after season, if they want her back, I will gracefully leave. And she can be on the show. I don't want to be on the show with her. No one is saying, girl, I was like, what is wrong? This is also how you know Sheree ain't about her business. Because a businesswoman would not want anyone around them who tried to get them looked at in that way. In my opinion, was Phaedra great for the show? Yes. Phaedra is banned from that show. Phaedra not on that show based on her actions alone. I don't think Kandi has as much power as folks think she do. I don't think Kandi is the sole reason Phaedra isn't back. Phaedra to this day has not admitted to what she did. That to me is the reason she ain't back. The show probably does not want her there because she's a liability. Because who knows what else she could say. And I think I was watching Ashley Miller, YouTuber, and she brought up how, Phaedra made an accusation about somebody and she gone, but Michael has done things, Michael from Potomac has done things and he was still on the show. And that is a double standard that is different, but I feel like I don't know why they did not remove Michael. I don't. But I also feel like Sheree is messy as hell for making it seem like Kandi needs to be the one who is okay being around Phaedra. That it needs to be addressed on camera. I feel like Phaedra had ample time and opportunities to address what she was accused of at the reunion when it came out. Phaedra didn't want to say anything, and that might have been her lawyer had speaking. She didn't want to, she didn't want to incriminate herself, but that's on you. She never said she didn't say it. She danced around the conversation, and I'm like, oh, he's not a paid cast member. Okay, that makes complete sense. But it's like Phaedra was wrong. Phaedra used Portia, old dinky stuff back then or whatever, to accuse Kandi and Ty, too, of trying to, take these pills and then take, and it's like nobody wants to be around that, and I think the only reason that Kandi was able to move past it with Portia was because Portia admitted that she was wrong in listening to Phaedra and not using her own common sense. Okay, that's what it was. She said the producer told her, and it was rumored, allegedly, that the producer who may have mentioned what he heard or that they heard, it was allegedly Carlos. But nobody has ever put, so I'm not saying it's fact at all. I'm saying that's what I heard. That's it. That's allegedly. That's it. Okay, that's it. But I feel like Sheree making it seem as if it was, she just said some shit. We've all had shady mom. We've all had to be on. No one on that show is around anyone who accused them of something criminally, some illegal. No one. Okay? No one. And I did not like Carlos phrasing it in a way of saying, should Kandi have that much power to prevent Phaedra from coming back? She don't, because truth be told, if they wanted her back, they would bring her back. And people say all the time, Kandi boring. We want Phaedra. They would bring her back and let Kandi sit it out a season. This is the gotcha. Nobody is friends with Phaedra. That's on the show. Kandi not. Kenya not. Cynthia gone. Okay. Who would even bring her in for her to film with? She don't even have enough connections to come back to the cast. Portia gone, Cynthia gone, Nene gone, Sheree back this season, but Sheree, you don't have enough clout to bring her with you, even though you're OG, even though you say I am, no one can forget me. Well, they forgot you have any power to bring back Phaedra. Because as she said, I asked them about bringing her back because Sheree also knows she needed a sidekick. Sheree has always been a sidekick type thing, a one and two, a thing, one thing. So okay, compare a duo with her and Nene, her and Kim. It's always been her and someone. And I think she knew if I can bring in Phaedra, it would be me and Phaedra against everybody else. And our shady moments or whatever will be gold, and we can get another season next season. But they like, you don't have enough clout to bring Phaedra with you. Not even as a friend up, even though she said how Phaedra was at her fashion show, which we know will be, shown towards the end of the season. Now, will we see Phaedra on the show? I don't know. Will Kandi maybe next season feel like she can be around Phaedra? I don't know. Until Phaedra publicly speaks on that situation between her and Kandi, I don't think the show ever will want her back on Housewives. But I'm like, they booked her on the Girl Trip show. So she's still, around or whatever. But I don't feel like it's at all Kandi's job to want to forgive Phaedra when Phaedra won't even speak on what she did. And Sheree ain't shit for trying to make it seem as if Kandi is the one who was holding the show back. This is a show. We're shooting a show. And, it should all be about the betterment of the show. That's her real life. That lady's reputation and her business could have been ruined if no one knew what was being said was a lie. Okay. Anyway, she also was being messy with Phaedra to have Apollo and Kandi there. Inviting Phaedra and her ex-husband, who we know ended on bad terms. Get out of my face. I agree. If Sheree had more power, she could have probably gotten Phaedra a friend contract, but Marlon and Kenya would have ate her up. Okay, I agree. I used to wonder if Carlos fell out with Kandi and Ty. Carlos and Ty used to do business together. Right, they did Hollywood Divas. And we ain't seen much of them work together since then. Okay, not since then. Right, Sheree is with Phaedra, but she don't have a power to bring her back. Because even if they would have brought Phaedra back before Sheree came back, she not really cool with nobody. You know what I'm saying? She not anybody on the show. But again, now she on the Girl Trip show. So we shall see how season 2 of that go. It's people like Sheree who feel as if it's not happening to me. If they didn't do it to me, I'm good. Phaedra has the potential to do that with anyone. And I'm like, that's the crazy part about it. People, when it first happened, I think people would have moved past it had she, I was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I went too far. I should not have done that. It's that she never spoke about it. So the Kandi hasn't had a reason to move on with it as far as the Phaedra, because Phaedra won't address it. Portia, at the reunion, my eyelash is like driving crazy. Portia at the reunion that season seemed remorseful when she figured out, she used me. I was used and abused and hoodwinked and bamboozled my eyelash and led astray. So Portia had the time to have a conversation with Kandi to, squash it. Phaedra didn't do that at all. So Sheree, to me, and I said Sheree out here trying to cause a beef between her and Kandi, which will guarantee her a seat next season. You know what I'm saying? Because, we know that you and Tyrone, you better call Tyrone. I think Tasha K got an interview with him. If she do, I'm gonna review it. But I think, what can Sheree bring us next season? This season was supposed to be her and Tyrone, and we know that ain't happening. But that's that. Anyway, y'all, that's all I have for y'all today. And that's it. Okay. Again, I had a few little topics or whatever. We discussed them all. I hope y'all all had a good time around here. Y'all know to follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG and Twitter. Y'all know to make sure to subscribe to my channel around here. Okay, y'all know to when y'all get off here with me, go ahead over to my channel, whatever, and watch my review for Love at the Lockup. Okay, it was fun of the knee. Okay, and do not forget tomorrow I will be live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to have a live chit chat watch along. The link is already up, so go ahead on my channel and hit reminder. Okay, it will tell you when I'm live. 9:30 tomorrow of the pro. Okay. Other than that, y'all, I had a good time with y'all. Okay, good time had by all y'all. And I love having these conversations with y'all. Okay, about this and about that and whatever. Now, it's a possibility I may come on here and be live at around 10, maybe even 11, because I have to get out my put a ring on it. And we'll put a ring on it and Ready to Love review. So I'm going to try to get that to y'all. If not tonight, it'll be up sometime early tomorrow. So that I want to have tomorrow to chill out and whatnot. But have a good night, okay? Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Get some water in y'all system, whatever, and be blessed. Gotta go love you all. Peace.